Do you know what that means? That means he's not just after the kid anymore. He's after all of us. Sure as hell after me. I just robbed him. You just betrayed him. You just killed his BFF. And you're dumb enough to be building a case against him. So, unless we all want to die very unpleasant deaths and let Roman go finger fishing in the kid's intestinal tract, we're gonna have to work together.
Ever since she stole the show in Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie seems like she's fully immersed herself in the role of Harley Quinn. Her ever-developing love of this character led to her actually pitching an adult-aimed all-female ensemble action film inspired by Jordan B. Garfinkel and Chuck Dixon's Birds of Prey comic books to Warner Brothers. This pitch became Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, and the dedication that has gone into creating Kathy Yan's film was most certainly worth it. The film sees Harley break up with the Joker, and she thinks she's just fine, but the truth is she's an absolute mess, unsure of what direction her life is heading or whether there's a point to it. But when young pickpocket Cassandra steals something very precious from crime lord Roman Sionis, this puts in motion a series of events that sees Harley cross paths with vigilante Huntress, singer Black Canary, and police officer Renee Montoya. Drawing from a range of inspirations including Rashomon, A Clockwork Orange, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, John Wick, and the cinema of Quentin Tarantino, with a kick of independent cinema spice, Birds of Prey is a hell of a rush that feels creatively unchained. In the spirit of the aforementioned, Yan's movie fizzes with giddy imagination, from the fantastic animated opening to some truly insane set pieces, including a stunningly shot and very original amusement park mass brawl. Quinn narrates us expectedly chaotically through this story, as the film takes on a Deadpool-esque vibe, picking apart comic book cinema conventions, affectionately mocking genres, and occasionally breaking the fourth wall to a degree, but in the process feels even more relevant and bold with it. DC has often led the way for diverse casting, but Birds of Prey proudly leads that rally behind and in front of the camera. Christina Hodgson's screenplay, just like Yan's direction, feels unrestricted and exciting, and the energy is infectious. References to DC lore are splashed throughout, as witty comedy races across the screen, accompanied by constantly beautifully choreographed enthralling action, important themes, and an unhinged, frenzied explosion of fun. Aesthetically, the film is bursting at the seams, and unlike any other comic book film. Erin Benak and Helen Huang's costumes are eye-poppingly cool, with wowing cinematography by Matthew Libatique that brings the spectacular colour-blasting and rollerblading action scenes to life. Meanwhile, the soundtrack is just as wild as the action, with Daniel Pemberton's score being a vigorous audible rebel yell and the chosen songs chimed just right. Robbie nails it as Quinn, making us laugh and feel as the character is set completely free and the results are just as pandemonic as you would expect. She has come to simply encapsulate this character and is clearly having a whale of a time on screen, just like her co-stars. Ewan McGregor's Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask, is one of the most layered comic book villains in recent memory. Hiding himself behind a metaphorical and literal mask of fear, he is a flamboyant, paranoid and sadistic villain, ragingly exigent and yet powerful, and driven by his wants and pleasures. McGregor's performance is a frightening tour de force, stealing scenes and leaving you uncomfortable in the face of his deranged acts. Whether it's a licorice gobbling hyena or a mouth-watering sandwich action sequence, Birds of Prey has anything you could want, and is a bold, Tarantino-infused, attitudinal, empowering comic book blast that feels completely written and directed by one Harley Quinn herself.